Hey guys, it's Sarah. Oh gosh, my phone won't stay up. So I sent out a Zoom link for this class. It's just falling over. I sent out a Zoom link and I must have scheduled it for 10 p.m. last night or something because it's not in my schedule, and I just tried to click the link in the email and it tells me that the thing I'm trying to access has expired. So obviously I messed something up there, but we are live here on Facebook, and anybody watching this on the replay on YouTube later who would have tuned in on Zoom, I apologize. I anticipate I'm going to have a few emails in just a few minutes wondering what is the deal. And I don't know what the deal is. I clearly just messed something up. So to err is human, right? Anyway, today we are talking magical healing for 2019, and we are looking at intentional creation. So over the past few days, we have chatted movement, journaling, what else? Meditation was the other one we talked about. Let me just make sure that we are good. You guys feel free to say hi. Let me know that you're here and you can see this and you can hear me and all that good stuff. I think you can. Oh, no, my comments aren't working on my... Goodness gracious. I got to turn it on my computer. Hold on. Now let me do that. What is happening? What is happening today? Mercury is not retrograde. The universe is obviously telling me, I don't know what it's telling me, but it's bugging me already. So hi Trina and Galina and Christina. All right, we're good now. Not on Zoom. My comments aren't working in the video. Very annoying things. Anyway, so we talked meditation, like I said, we talked journaling, we talked movement yesterday. Today we're talking intentional creation. So in the printout, hi Joanne, in the printout I sent you today, that link should work, I gave you some suggestions around intentional creation. So we're talking about creation, like creating things in your life. So whether that might be vision boarding, scrapbooking, I said day planning, like making a planner, like a bullet journal, or, the act of planning for me is very creative and it makes me feel really good and like I'm manifesting great things into my life. So whatever that looks like for you, but you can create things with your, with your hands, do intentional creation. Food can be intentional creation. So I gave you some examples of these things. Yeah, Kalina 2018 going out with a bang for sure. Thanks, Dawn. I use this, Dawn says that my hair looks good. So now I'm ranting. I haven't had a haircut since June 2017, right after my little guy was born. I went and got it cut a little bit. But I use this color depositing shampoo, and it puts, it's purple, but it also has like that keratin stuff in it. I don't know, whatever, but it makes, when I just did it this morning, I redid it, and when I do it, it makes all my split ends like not so splitty. And I only do it from like here down, obviously. I don't have the patience to do my whole head, but yeah, it makes my hair, I got it at Ulta, and it does turn, my hands are kind of purple. I used gloves, but just washing it out turns it purple too. Anyway, thanks for saying that, but that's why, because I just did a fresh layer of purple color depositing shampoo. So Christina says, yes, 2019 is my year for creation. Get back to sewing and creating for my home. Love it. Yeah, so 2019 is a 3 year, which we talked about. And with that number 3, we can align ourselves to our greatest joy. Part of that is creating. What do you want to create? And also when we think of intentional creation, we can think of intentionally creating the life that we want to have for ourselves as well. And so when we're doing this, we want to focus on, where we will be and choose to be there. So an example of this is that I see a lot of people this time of year that are like, next year, I'm not going to eat any sugar. Next year, I'm not going to spend any money. Like all these things. And we kind of focus on, and when we say that, which are they're very valid things. I'm always like that. I'm like, I'm not going to eat any sugar. But when we say that, we're focusing on our flaws, right? Like we're focusing on the fact that we're flawed and that we eat too much sugar, and that we're flawed and we spend too much money. So how can you say that instead? Like, and make it a healing experience. When we're focusing on our flaws, we aren't healing ourselves, right? We're beating ourselves up. So where can you heal if that's one of the things you've been thinking of? Hey, Sharon. Sharon is the ultimate healer, you guys. Just so you know, anybody watching, Sharon Wellings, she should be doing this. Anywho, so how can you spin that differently so that you are intentionally creating the year that you want so you can be more joyful? So for me, like, my house is a clutter fest, and well, I guess it's not that. It's better recently. It's a small house. We have a lot of stuff in here. We get a lot of stuff, Sisters Enchanted related stuff that takes up space that we don't really have. We got 2 small kids and they got a lot of stuff and there's not really space. And on top of that, we tend to, we accumulate things because people hand us down clothes that aren't the right size for our kids yet, so they're too big. So then those are just sitting around. Or like, we hold on to stuff to give away to nieces and nephews that are smaller, but we haven't seen them, so it's just like piles of toys that are sitting around. So it like feels like a lot of clutter. So instead of me being like, next year is the year that we don't bring any crap into our house, next year is the year everything's clean, how can I intentionally, what do I want to intentionally create? I want to feel at ease in my home. That's what I want to intentionally create. I want to intentionally create like relaxation in my home. So rather than saying, I'm not bringing any stuff into this house next year, what I can say is, I'm going to feel relaxed in my house next year and intentionally create that feeling. And so and heal that part of me that feels chaotic in my home, heal my house. Your houses are physical energy too, right? Those spaces, they are like living, I guess they're not living, breathing, but they are living, energetic sort of boxes. They're containers for your energy and your family's energy. And so how can we heal that energy as well and be joyful in 2019? So when we look at sort of the thing we want to do, well, what's the feeling associated with that? What's on the other side of that, you know? And in my example, having a clutter-free house, the feeling on the other side of that is feeling relaxed. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, good, it's a great day. I can see the counters, as opposed to like, here I am in this like junk storm again, you know? So, and it's the same with money. If you're like, oh, I just buy too much stuff, I buy stuff I don't need, next year I'm not spending any money on anything I don't need. Well, as soon as you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure and guilt, right? Because you're going to be like, oh, I did it again. And I feel guilty about that. I'm a failure. I can't stick to my plans. So how can you intentionally create something a way to set yourself up for success? So maybe you want to feel confident about your spending, right? You want to feel confident about your money choices. And so how can you, so that would be like in 2019, I'm going to feel confident about my money choices. So that's the area you're going to heal. And then what do you need to do to heal that? And what can you intentionally create? Maybe you intentionally create a vision board. Maybe you intentionally create a sacred space. Maybe you intentionally create a meal plan if you want to eat healthier and feel better in 2019. That's something I want to do for sure. I used to be like so healthy in my food and consumption of food, and like the last 2018, I don't know, but I just like, give me all the cookies and potato chips, which is totally like contrary to how I've been the last like 6 years of my life. And now all of a sudden I'm like, candy, give me the candy. These people we bought the box of candy for Christmas don't really need it. I need it. That's how this season went. So yeah, so intentional creation. We can magically heal in 2019 through intentional creation. And that can look like a lot of different things, but kind of the first step to that though is deciding, you know, how you want to feel, how you want to perceive your life in 2019. So think about perception. How do you perceive it now? Like whatever area that you want to heal, and how do you want to perceive that differently? Like what's your perception of it going to be? And then what can you do to get there? So let me just go back through the comments here. Do you guys, there's tantrums going on in my house. Where did I put my coffee? I lost my coffee somewhere. It's gone. See, I need to declutter. I can't even find a coffee cup. So Christina says, I'm all about doing more positive And then the negative kind of disappears. It's magic. Yeah. Tanya says, I woke up thinking about how I want to be a more deserving wife and mother in 2019. Exactly what I needed this morning. I need to put a positive spin on my goal. Yes, positive spins. Because I see just on social media, so many people are like, 2019, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. This is the end of this. But how do you want to, how are you going to how can you perceive it differently? Kalina says being focused on the negative is why New Year's resolutions fail, at least for me. Exactly, because we focus on the negative. So when we say things like, I'm not spending money, I'm not eating sugar, I'm not going to let people walk all over me, like those sorts of things, as soon as it happens, we're like, I let it happen. And then we feel bad about ourselves. So if you can say, just spin it differently. Like for me, what's one thing that I'm saying for 2000, well, the food thing, like making good choices for my body. I'm going to intentionally create those, but looking at it in a way that won't set you up for failure, basically. Christina says, Sarah, more home cooking. I know. I gotta bust the crock pot out. That's one of the, people, and Christina's taken some of my free business classes. I teach business witchery classes because I've created a very successful community here in the last little under 3 years. But that's one of the things that I look at too when intentionally creating is making space for things that make me more time to create things I want to create. So for me, like home cooking takes a lot of time. So what I would do probably is be more intentional about what where we're ordering, where I'm having, I'll buy like trays of food pre-made, but where I'm ordering those from, right? So that it's not like salt and gross and bad for you. It's veggies and whole foods and stuff like that. So look at that. That's another thing too, when it comes to intentionally creating things around money and debt and finances. We got to remember that when we focus on the negative in that area and that we're not going to do things, we're not going to do this or that or whatever, that money, it really is infinite. You can always make more money. Like you can get a part-time job. You can sell things in your house. There are always ways to make, it might not feel like it and they might not be easy. They might be really hard, but there are always ways to make more money. So when we look at not spending money, are you going to feel bad that everybody else is able to go to the theme park and you're not going to go, right? What can you do though to make that extra $100 so you can go and then you feel the joy in going or whatever it is? So when we switch our perspective and just be like, oh, I have enough, like I have the resources for this, I can make this happen, and look at it that way. And that's when you're on the path to success there. So Christina says, retraining our brain to go to the light. The positive. If you focus on the negative is always in your sight. Exactly. Push it away. Be active in thought as well as movement. Exactly. One of the first, we're doing the Heal Like a Witch in January, February, March. And that class, it's a 3-month class. And the first month we're talking about that shift from 3D to 5D consciousness and how there's so much healing that really needs to be done to make that jump, because it's so easy to sort of fall back into this idea of like pain, suffering, nothing works for me, the universe is against me, I never have enough, I'm never going to have enough. And that's kind of that way of 3D thinking, where 5D thinking is like that idea that everything is limitless and I can create the world that I want to live in easily. And that's like such a huge, it really bugs me when people talk about like manifesting in that way. And they're like, you can just decide it and it will happen. And like to some degree, that's true. Like if you firmly decide something and then take action to make it happen, then it will likely happen for you. But it's so easy to get sucked into our human world and the people around us that those challenges can be it could take years to overcome those challenges, and not everybody's primed to just overcome them in like a 30-day time period or like even a year. It can take time and a lot of working at that. So I always get really annoyed when people are like, it's so easy to just get rid of these things and shift your consciousness, because it's work. It's a lot of work. But anyway, yeah, that idea of retraining your brain, that's our That's the January lesson in the Heal Like a Witch class. And then February, we're talking about the mother wound, the sister wound, and the witch wound, which I think is also one of those sort of buzzwordy sort of things, but that's like the way we perceive ourselves in relation to the world around us that, you know, we need to shift as well. So yeah, Christina, crockpots are the best. Amy, Instapot. I have an Instapot and I've never used it. I need to take it out. Aline says, don't cry over the things you don't have. Love and be joyful with all that we do have. Positive thinking. There will be downs, but you'll see it through. Yeah. Crystal says, this week has worked magic for sure at this class. My household is so happy because mama is. Yeah, it's a, you know, and I always like to be very real and upfront. People watching this, you know, parts of my life are like banging on the up and up, and there's work that needs to be done in other areas. And I'm always assessing, like, where am I, what have I not healed that this is still happening? Where do I need to bridge a gap here? Like what is going on? And it is a constant process, you know, constant process. So Christina says, so excited for the new class. I'm really excited for it too. I've been having a lot of fun putting it together for sure. And Anna's doing, what are the three? There's three, a god and two goddesses that she's teaching on in January. And then in February, I think she's incorporating some kitchen stuff into her lesson as part of it. It's going to be really good, like really fun, I think, and informative, and some guest speakers for you guys. So it's going to be good. Amy says, makes a huge difference with the people around you. Yeah, when we can magically heal ourselves, then, you know, the idea is that we sprinkle that glitter to those around us as well. So intentional creation, the printable that I gave you guys, there's ideas for physical creation, like vision boards, like I said, creating cozy spaces in your home, creating food, whatever that looks like for you. But you can also work on intentionally creating your life and heal parts of your life as a result of that. So, and I know the big ones are always like health and money. You know, we all want to, everyone wants to lose weight and have more money. It's always the big ones. But you have to look at intentionally creating where you want to be, and focusing on what you're doing wrong is not going to help you get there, because as soon as you do that thing again, you're going to feel really bad about yourself. That's just human nature. You know, when you set a goal for yourself to not do something and then you do it, that's when we feel really unpleasant. So like when we intentionally create what we want to have, and then we can get creative. There's that word create again, creative in how we make it come to life. So like if it's, you know, you want to intentionally create more time for self-care in 2019, and you want to heal your relationship with yourself. How can you intentionally create that into being? Maybe you can do something physical, like creating the vision board or the sacred space, or create some bath salts or something like that. But then what else can you do to intentionally create that thing, or create space for that thing to happen? So maybe you're looking at, you know, that you take time for yourself on a regular basis, and then you schedule it in or something. And that's intentional creation. Sitting down with your calendar and scheduling that time in is intentional creation. And then be easy on yourself. You know, when you don't stick to it, you got to say, oh, you know, I didn't stick to it. It's fine. I'll do it. Let's start again right now. Let's start at this very minute. So Crystal says, Anna's kitchen magic is the best. Yeah, I know. I got to get Anna out. She's hiding in like a cave. I got to get her out of the cave. Kalina says, this week has been awesome. Even when my Sagittarius wild child pushes my buttons, I try to bring recognizing gratitude to our space at the dinner table. I hear you. As I'm speaking, I don't know if you guys can hear it. As I'm speaking right now, one of my kids is crying and the other one's getting scolded. So I mean, there's no like, no fake perception of perfect life over here. Christina says, got to run. Apparently Sonia threw up. See, Christina's got little kids too. We were all throwing up last week. I'm sorry, Christina. Good luck with that. I feel your pain. We must have washed our living room rug like, I don't know how many times. We were like, maybe we should just throw it out, but that's so wasteful. We should just clean it. Anyway, so intentional creation for magical healing 2019. And we have this idea of 3. Remember that the number 3, 2019 is a 3 year. And we have these, like the three-legged stool. So where in your, when you think of intentional creation, you know, like what two things do you need to bring into balance to create this thing you want to create? So if you want to create more financial abundance, if you want to heal some area of your life around finances and abundance, you know, what is out of balance? Like what two things do we need to integrate, heal, bring together, bring peace between, so we feel joy in that area and we have that third leg to stand on. And we can think about that when we're intentionally creating as well. Poor children, I know. Amy, sometimes adjust for today is a great way to, to approach hard goals. Yes, for sure. Christina, husband with no filter here, sitting with my earbuds. But let's have a conversation. Jen, your kiddos caught my attention, mom ear. I know, they're always yelling. The other night we were on a business witchery mastermind call and my daughter was throwing an epic tantrum. She was supposed to be in bed and wouldn't go to bed, and I had to move myself like to the other end of the house. Kids, man, running through the house playing a very loud made up game. I know, those children. We gotta move to a commune and then we can just put them all in one big, like the center building or something. It's not letting me scroll down to see the comments now. What's happening? Okay. Yes, wild children over here. Vanessa, I've got a small room in my house. It's my sacred space. And I've started meditating and taking time to myself each evening. And my husband put an easel in there. So I'm going to start painting. Love it. Helps with anxiety. Crystal's kids still in bed. My kids have been up since 6:30. Every day they wake up at like 6 to 6:30. It's very obnoxious. Yeah, so we can all watch Discovery of Witches together. Yeah, intentionally create some you time coming up because Discovery of Witches comes to TV. The Magicians is coming back in January. And then in March, American Gods is back on. So I don't watch TV typically like ever. And these three, though, will have me planting my butt on the sofa to tune in for sure. Yes, Witches Commune. In the future, people, I'm working on it. I'm trying. That's like goals, Sisters Enchanted goals is Witches Commune for sure. Jen's balance has been my haunting word. So that is the big word for 2019. Now to break it into smaller pieces for lunar goals. Yeah. So what I like to, I talk about this in our moon class, is you take your big goal, which is kind of your solar goal. It's the big thing that's going to change your outward life. Like that might be a money goal or like a fitness goal or something. And then break it down into bite-sized pieces in terms of how you want to feel as you're accomplishing those bite-sized pieces. And then that's an intention for a lunar cycle. And over these lunar cycles, we eventually build up to the big solar goal and get it accomplished. Yes, with the app. I know. I was looking at that this morning about the app. Kelly, hi Kelly. Kelly says, I made it to a live. Hello there. So anyway, today, intentional creation. I challenge you to intentionally create something and think back with the journaling and meditation and the movement and the intentional creation. And how can you like make all of this stuff into one manageable thing that doesn't feel like too much? Because it can really feel like too much. If you're like, oh, I gotta journal, I gotta meditate, I gotta move my body, now I gotta make something. Who has time for that? But you can do it really like in one setting. You can journal a little bit. You can intentionally create something one time that you want to focus on and use sort of as like a centerpiece of your sacred space, or like intentionally creating a meal plan or intentionally creating a budget, something like that. And then you do that once and you just use it going forward. So not everything that we talk about has to be done every day and feel really overwhelming and like, you know, like you're going to set yourself up for failure. You can do these things in little bits and pieces over time for sure. And keep in mind that idea of 3 and joy. What two things, like what is your ultimate picture of joy, right? Like in an area of your life, in one area of your life, one small area. What does joy look like in that area? And what two things need to sync up to make that third thing happen? Like what's out of sync? You know, what maybe like are you contributing, what you need more of? What two things can you bring into balance to create that joy and create that joyful, magical healing 2019 to heal an area of your life where there is joy lacking? And so this all circles back to is healing an area of your life where you're not experiencing joy, and what things need to be pushed together to make that third thing happen. Kalina is working on weather scarves from 2018. Lisa, does art journaling count for journaling? For sure, yeah. Some people don't like to write at all. Just art journaling is definitely journaling. Just another form of it. Journaling doesn't have to look like any one thing. I think we just think of sitting down and writing. It can be affirmations over and over again. It can be sentences. It can be a story you write. It can be an art journal. You can speak it out and dictate it, voice dictate something. Yeah, it doesn't have to be any one thing at all. Hi, Jen and Katie. So to recap one more time, we're looking at Magical Healing for 2019. It's a 3-year, which means we can look at what area of life we want to heal to bring joy to that area of our life, and what needs to be done, what needs to be brought sort of into balance to create that joy. So 2 things that need to be brought into balance to create joy in one area of your life and heal that area in 2019. And we've talked about journaling as a tool, meditation as a tool, movement as a tool, and now intentional creation as a tool. And you can use intentional creation to make art, to make food, to make a budget, to intentionally create whatever joy looks like for you in some area of your life that you would like to heal in 2019. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Jen says coloring with intention is a fun task. Yeah, coloring has been shown to do so much cool stuff to your brain. So yeah, journaling can be all sorts of things. Doesn't have to be just writing. Crystal says yes. Oh, they have the witch's coloring planner or whatever. So everyone's creating and meditating while they color. I love it. Kelly's got 2 planners, one to help me journal and one to help me track my life, both witchy and helping me with practice. Awesome. I love it. I use the most boring planner ever. Well, it's not boring. It's actually really awesome, but it's not magical at all. It's by this woman who does business stuff for moms, and it's it's got every hour of the day. There's nothing magical in it. So, but it's so magical and how organized it keeps me. So I love it. I'll have to put my tarot card pulls in there or something, note it in the notes section. Hi, Desi. Angela loves to cook, intentionally creates when I cook for my family, get my kitchen witching on. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, whatever intentional creation looks like for you, get to it. I do not like to cook, so you will not see me intentionally creating dinner very often. I made dinner the other night and my daughter was she actually hesitated to eat it. She was like, Mama made this. I was like, it's fine, just eat it. Jennifer says, I've started knitting again, relaxing, and love to see the finished project. Awesome. Alethea says, I need that kind of organizer. Yeah. I needed it too. Christina says, I use my Witch's Datebook to track all the webinars and moons, etc. I have a gratitude journal and I started a tarot journal. Fantastic. Crystal, her husband says he can tell when I'm mad at him because dinner sucks. That's funny. I just don't like to cook. I have no patience for it. I can follow a recipe. I just don't have patience for it. If there's more than 3 ingredients in something, and especially if something has to be, if the words finely chopped, diced, or minced are in there, I'm already not doing it. I just do not have the patience to do it. I use big chunks. It's not diced, not minced. Everybody's irritated at me, so I just skip that. MJ uses a personalized plum paper planner for homeschool, and it's magical, even though it's not. I get what you're saying. Magical, even though it's not. All right, so intentional creation. I'll put the thread up in here and you can share what you're intentionally creating, what you're intentionally creating. And anybody that's new to these parts, if you want to join us for Heal Like a Witch, it starts in less than a week. And for the new students, we're also sending out some goodies to you to help you heal like a witch and send you a fun sticker and stuff. So we'd love to have you, and you can find the link in the email I sent today, and I'll put it in here too sometime. Alicia, beginning tomorrow, I'm going to begin an art business journal. I've found that some interesting things happen when I'm making custom fairies. Love it. And MJ says, get a Pampered Chef chopper. You know, someone gave me one of those, actually. I should probably use it and stop being lazy and lame in the kitchen. Yeah. See, I have no excuses. I'm my own excuse. I make excuses for my own life too, just like everybody else. Yeah, Sisters Enchanted swag. If only I could find my coffee cup with my coffee in it somewhere in this room. Steph uses a Ninja food processor. I have one. I have one of those. I have an attachment for my blender, actually. See, you guys are calling me on my own ridiculousness right now. All right, so intentional creation, get on it. I'll put the post in the group, and then I'll see you tomorrow. I'll send out the time, and we're gonna have like a recap of what's happening for 2019 and kind of talk about what we learned and how to use it going forward. So, all right, thanks guys for hanging with me today. I hope you guys have a great and safe and happy New Year's Eve and New Year's Day tomorrow, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.